Hi everyone, my name is Bailey Smith and I will be doing the presentation over parenthood and children. I find this topic very interesting because it's such a topic that I think that doesn't get paid enough attention to, and in regards to the factors, challenges, advantages, trends that have changed in parenthood and children over the years. And I think it's really important to pay attention to this topic. So I will be going over these areas. Parenthood and raising children is a very important topic that should be delicately addressed in today's society. I think more attention needs to be paid to it. Families all have different characteristics, makeups, and parenting styles. We all know each family is unique and different in their own way. Entering parenthood and deciding to have children is a very important and huge decision for someone to make. This is a huge step to consider for any couple or anyone deciding about having children. This decision should be made with careful consideration and meaningful thoughts. Parenthood and raising children encompasses several factors, various trends, as well as advantages and challenges. Any family will be able to tell you that there's challenges as well as advantages. And I think it is important for a couple deciding to have a child to talk to other families to try to get their perspective and their experience and how it's been, just so they have a little feel for their journey of being a parent and raising children. And this slide just shows various families happy and just shows different people and different families in different situations. So I will be going over the factors for parenthood and raising children, and the various trends and advantages as well as challenges in parenthood and raising children. First, there are several factors that should be considered when deciding whether to parent or not. Having a baby is a huge decision. It requires serious self-reflecting, communication, and consideration. Many factors should be considered when deciding to parent or not. These can be consider the cost of parenthood. Raising children is very costly, and the couple needs to decide if they're ready to, if they're able to afford this financially and are prepared to spend the high cost. Our book, Lamana, Reedman, and Stewart talk about the cost on page 198, and it quotes, "In husband-wife families, the two children, an estimated 42% of household expenditures are attributed to children. In fact, the yearly cost of childcare for an infant can run upward of $14,480, and costs associated with raising children are rising faster than incomes are." And that is from our book. And I just thought that was really interesting to understand the actual cost of raising a child. So that is a huge considering factor when deciding whether to parent or not. Consider the cost of parenthood. But you also need to consider the rewards. Parenthood is a very rewarding experience. I myself am not a parent, but I have heard many things from my parents, from my family's friends, from everyone, how rewarding it is. And you need to remember to outweigh the challenges or disadvantages with the advantages. Consider the rewards. Children are a very rewarding gift. They bring many benefits to parents. Lamana, Reedman, and Stewart state, "Indeed, parenthood can provide a sense of commitment and meaning in an uncertain social world. Becoming a parent can also broaden one's role in the world." So it can do a lot for a person in general. For the individual, it can do a lot. You also need to consider how children affect couple happiness. Children can stabilize a marriage, but a stable marriage is not necessarily a happy one. That is really important to remember, that having a child may make the relationship between the two people stronger, but it may make it stable, but that is not always necessarily a happy and content relationship. So you also need to talk to your spouse about your happiness and just talk about how having a child may change the happiness. It may change the relationships dynamics greatly because they will be less likely to go out and spend money or go on vacations or trips. And the most common cost of having children is couple conflict and strain. In the book, it talks about how having a child can create conflict and strain between the couple. So those are just some factors to consider. How have trends in parenthood changed? Over the years, trends in parenthood have changed greatly for various reasons. In the past, U.S. mothers had their first child in their early 20s. Today, Americans are postponing parenthood into their 30s. There are many reasons for this. They include a desire to complete one's education, become more established in one's career, and of course, the advancement of contraception, the birth control, is another factor that has changed the trends into parenthood into later life. Lamanna, Reedman, and Stewart state, with the availability of reliable contraception and the promise of assisted reproduction technology if needed later, many people plan the onset of parenthood for later in their lives because they just want to establish themselves in their career and in their education and just for various reasons. And I found an interesting article. It's by Wilkie. They talk about the causes of the delay, and they focus a lot on contraception, effective contraception. The delay of parenthood is related to changes in birth timing preferences. There are several reasons why women now want to delay to start their families. And the most important reason is probably increased educational opportunities. Today we have so many educational opportunities that people want to take these early on in life and establish themselves in their career and in their education and just in society. So that's another reason why they have wait for later life parenting. And employment reduces actual and expected fertility, and women who plan to work also plan to have smaller families. So it also greatly depends on one's work. And Wilkie, 1981, stresses that higher and better educated women greatly affect the later life decision of parenting. Wilkie states the proportion of women having first births at older ages increased directly with schooling, except at lowest levels of education, that is. So we see how women and men in general who are better educated and higher educated decide to start their family later in life because of education, the advancement of contraception, just all these factors have changed the trends in parenthood. And now we will go to advantages of parenting in the 21st century. Parenting comes with numerous advantages as well as challenges. Parenting may be the toughest job a person can endure, but it is important to understand how rewarding it truly is. So some of the advantages in the 21st century of parenting. Today, parents are better educated and more likely to have prior knowledge about child development and child raising techniques. Therefore, they are able, and more parenting classes are available, so they'll be better knowledgeable in these areas. So they will just be a little more advanced and have some experience, much more than in the past. Today, fathers are more emotionally involved in parenting than in the past. Children are less exposed to violent crimes today than 20 years ago. Even though we do see high crimes today, they're maybe less violent and less exposed in a way. So that has helped parenting so that children are not exposed to violent crimes. Cell phones and social media, that's a huge one. It helps with parents stay in touch with their children so much more than in the past. I mean, it can also help with communication, and the parents may be able to check on their child more and just check in their child's life, what they may not be telling them. And the parents can resort to the internet to solve and deal with parenting concerns. Everyone goes straight to the internet for all their concerns, so parents have this advantage of Googling various concerns or what have you, and just use it as a tool for parenting in the way. So there are many advantages, but we also come with challenges. Some of the challenges that parents are faced with today is the society on conflicting roles. The society focuses on conflicting roles. The parenting roles and working roles often clash and create conflict. Parents worry about the time away from their children due to work. This is a huge one because parents are juggling multiple jobs and raising a child at the same time, and they may feel their time is taken away from their children. And it can hurt that parent and child bond relationship, so that's a huge one. Parents also worry about the society's various values and concern and influences. The society has such a huge impact on children and everybody in general that parents worry about the negative impact that the society brings on their children. Parents have such a huge influence on their children that it can be difficult. Parents view their influence on their children as overwhelming, which can create concerns. They just feel like that they're the one that influences their child's every decision, every move. So that can cause for concern and somewhat scare the parent in a way. And of course, different parenting styles can be frowned upon and criticized. All parents have different parenting styles, and some may not agree with the parenting style. So parents can be faced with being criticized for their various parenting style. And parents can be juggling caring for their young children as well as elderly family members. That's a huge one because oftentimes the elderly family members move in with their parents. The grandparents could move in with their parents, and the parent might be juggling taking care of their parents as well as their young children. So that's just a lot to juggle too. So parenting does come with various factors. Trends have changed and advantages and challenges, but in parenthood and raising children is a very rewarding experience, and that is important to remember. It's just important to remember that if you're a couple deciding if you want to start a family, consider everything and have effective communication and just take your time with the deciding process because it can be overwhelming. And these are the references I used, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you for watching.